Imagine this. Your home, your school, your entire hometown has just been destroyed by these mysterious giant monsters, the Kaiju. You and your childhood friend make a vow. When you grow up, you're both going to join the defense force and fight against the Kaiju. You promise each other to stand side by side and eradicate the Kaiju together, and see which one of you will become the cooler officer. Fast forward over 20 years and your childhood friend has done it. She's a modern day superhero, and you are a janitor. This is the opening to Kaiju No. 8, the hit new series taking the manga world by storm. For a series that isn't even 1 year old and only having 2 volumes being released, it's already sold over 1 million copies, breaking records and setting milestones. The potential of this series is extremely promising. It's a rising superstar, and I only see it growing to even greater heights from here. Kaiju No. 8 captures some of the best aspects from various series and melds them together to create one of the most refreshing manga I've read. Perhaps the biggest appeal of Kaiju No. 8 comes from its main character, Kafka. So many series follow the adventures of a teenager in a high school setting trying to save all of Japan. Kaiju No. 8 deviates from the norm and gives us a main character who's not just an adult, but a man in his 30s, which in anime years means people treat him like he's a senior citizen. Kafka's someone that wanted to be the hero of his story, but failed numerous times. Realizing he's not cut out for it, he settles on janitorial duty instead. Work it during the day, come home, get drunk, sleep, wake up, and have the process repeat. It's essential work, and someone's gotta do it. You get to live in a nice apartment and eat what you want, but every day, there's always this nagging feeling of what if, what could have been, that eats away at him. I imagine a ton of people who read this can put themselves in Kafka's shoes. Having a dream and not being able to achieve it is a real thing people go through. At least for me, it felt all too real. I even read the first chapter while pretending to take a dump at a job I didn't want to be at, only to come home and play a few games of Street Fighter V online, go to sleep only to have the process repeat. One of the most inspirational things I've ever been told in my life came from a video game I played last year, Yakuza Like a Dragon. The main character of that story is a homeless man in his 40s. He's drinking with his buddy who's also in his 40s homeless. They talk about what they wanted to be when they were kids, and the main character replies, a hero, like in Dragon Quest. After laughing about it at first, his friend encourages him. He tells him why not become a hero at the age of 40. This is my favorite scene from this game because the message of it's never too late to chase your dreams is a beautiful thing. I brought that scene up because it's the main appeal behind Kaiju No. 8's first few chapters. It's inspiring and a huge reason why this series managed to skyrocket in popularity in its opening arc. Kafka is a pretty nice guy that people can relate to, so at the end of the first chapter when he says he's going to give his dream another shot, you genuinely want him to succeed. I do enjoy shows that have its main protagonist basically being a loser with nothing really going for them and showing them eventually overcoming those odds against them. However, these characters simply wouldn't work in a shonen series. At the end of the day, we're watching shonen to see cool fights. Kaiju No. 8 understands this, so they give Kafka a huge boost. As Kafka lays down in a hospital bed resolving himself, a miniature kaiju forces its way down his throat. He then transforms into a human-sized kaiju, and now the real story begins. I've seen this series get compared to Attack on Titan a lot. I get it, they both transform into the monsters they're fighting, but I think that comparison only works on a surface level and doesn't do this series justice. If I had to compare this series to something else, I'd actually compare it to Mob Psycho. The way Kaiju No. 8 handles its main character and power scales him reminds me a lot about what I loved about Mob Psycho. After Kafka turns into a kaiju, his dream of joining the defense force is basically guaranteed. The part of the entrance exam he keeps failing is the fitness portion. Considering he basically just consumed the Captain America super serum in the form of a small monster, passing a fitness test is a piece of cake. But in his eyes that would be cheating, so he refuses to use it during the test. He'd rather come in last place than cheat. Even if he were to pass by using his powers, it wouldn't feel like he earned it. Well, that's what he says at first. He does have other reasons for not transforming right off the bat and keeping his power a secret. Like if people were to find out, he would be converted into a shiny new weapon when he dies like he's some MMO raid boss. Both him and Mob are characters that are exceptionally gifted. However, they don't rely solely on their powers, but instead strive for self-improvement without the use of their powers. And that's what makes them so endearing as protagonists. Kaiju No. 8 gives Kaiju a rating on a scale from 1 to 10 on how scary they are, and Kafka is a whopping 9.8. From the start, he's established to be one of the strongest characters. Both him and Mob could solve all their problems with ease, but they don't. They only want to rely on their powers in extreme scenarios, like when it comes to saving a life, in which case they won't hesitate. Since they choose not to one-shot every kaiju, this gives the other characters the spotlight to shine. All of which, from the short time I've gotten to know them, are great. This cool guy is killing kaiju with a sword, there's a tsundere with a battle axe, the childhood friend is cool as hell and has a pet tiger, they're all dope. I think the art here is perfect. A lot of panels here are real wallpaper material. The kaijus are super sick, a ton of these designs slap. They're super intimidating and scary when they need to be. This series conveys a lot of different emotions and it manages to show that through its art almost seamlessly. I think the best example of this is Kaiju No. 8 himself. His design is super flexible. He looks awesome when he's getting ready to punch shit. He's terrifying to look at and sends chills down your spine when he gets serious. This same super intimidating monster is also capable of urinating from his nipples, producing man titty milk. The overall vibe from the manga could go from serious to funny in a heartbeat, and the art style complements this really well. The fight scenes really managed to bring out the inner child in me. They're shooting laser beams that just obliterate kaiju in one shot. This guy is zooming all over the place with his sword slashing shit. They throw grenades down kaiju's throats. It's all hype as hell. My favorite fights in the series is when Kaiju No. 8 fights. You just know you're gonna see something amazing when he's on screen. He just punches these kaijus like he's Saitama. You can really feel the weight and sheer force behind every punch. Just look at some of these shots, it's the sickest thing ever. I don't know what the future of this series will look like. Maybe it'll get an anime adaptation in a few years and propel it to popularity to the point it becomes a household name like Attack on Titan. Maybe the next chapter will come out and completely invalidate everything I liked about the series from the start. Maybe I'm only drawn into this series because what I really want is more older protagonists in future shonen series. But I really get the feeling this is the beginning of something truly special. If the quality from these first 30 chapters is anything to show for what's to come in the future, I'm excited. This manga is a breath of fresh air, and I can't wait to see where this series is headed. If you're in the mood for a fresh new manga to read with a great main character that's different from the norm, or hell, if you simply love cool big kaijus, you need to check this one out. This has been Soft Hands. I rate my hands a 9.8 out of 10 on a softness rating. If you made it this far, like, comment, sub, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, much appreciated.